Hello everyone, I have made renovations to the Tampico Space Center area. You can see many more buildings in the background there, and I'm here to tour it in my little T-38. I've also made this new runway. As you can see, it's better textured than the one that I've been using before, and I'll expand it so that we have more facilities next to it later on. But there is a discontinuity there that I'm gonna have to fix, we can see. So already there's gotta be fixes, and I'm basically looking through, oh, looks like my throttle's not working right now. I'm looking through to see what fixes I need to do, because when you're putting stuff in Blender, it's not very clear at all, especially on this scale, considering that in Blender it's all of this, well, all of the sort of rectangular outlined area that you see there. Oh, no, actually, well, that's the area that I normally work with. The extended area goes beyond that. Oh, and it looks like we're a little bit higher up, though once I put other stuff around it, that'll be fine. And we do have quite a lip to the runway here, and it's sure not smooth. Maybe I should have a smooth edge, just like to do with the stock one. But again, there'll be a whole apron and other buildings around, hangars and such, so I have to think about that as well. I should have, I suppose, TIPA T-38 instead of a NASA T-38. At least the blue logo of TIPA would sort of match. Well, I guess I'll have atmospheric autopilot. Probably don't even need it. It's pretty stable. Okay, so there's an edge there. Actually, around here in front of us, there would be the DSN antennae. However, I was using the NASA 3D model of the DSN antennae, and those are very high quality, or at least they take up a lot of space, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to reduce that before putting it in here. So we have some new buildings. We also have the actual border of the Space Center. You can sort of see the line of the fence there. Well, actually that's a different line. Anyway, there's the Launch Control Center to our right and the VAB to the left. We have some various other buildings here, some extra tanks. This is actually the entry to the Space Center here. So there's the Visitor Center, and then there you can sort of see the wall. These two buildings I need to improve on. They're actually outside the Space Center area, but they'll be sort of obvious, so I need to fix them. Their textures are not good enough. Then we have the Altamira port, which is what this entryway is, so ships can come in. You can see the drone ship sort of parked alongside, very close to the VAB. In front of us here is where the electrolysis plant will be. So we have these tanks. I got the tank parts from ArtStation, so they're not my model. The solar panel arrays are my model. But those tanks I got from ArtStation, and we'll hook them up with pipes, and I'll need to create the actual electrolysis units. I've changed the look of the pads. They're sort of more rectangular than the 39A look, which is sort of a, I don't know what you would call it, diamond shaped. So these are no longer diamond shaped pads, and we have two of them, and we have the water towers in the back, and you can see the crawler way. In Blender, I actually have a crawler on the crawler way, but the crawler is also too high poly. It's also a NASA model. So I decided not to import it because that would be too high quality for Kerbal, too many polygons and that sort of thing. So that's the Space Center as I have it right now. And I'm gonna be making more models and more buildings, of course, but we've got sort of the basics. Integration facilities. In Blender, I want to have the whole pad decked out. Also, I have to have the what you call it? The lightning towers. I have to have the lightning towers around the pad. So there's a lot left to be done. And there should be more of a bump map for, or I should just put buildings around for the rest of the Tampico area so it's more dynamic. It's tough though, it's such a huge area to cover. And then we have this other airport, the actual airport in Tampico, that could be more detailed so that we could land there too. And then the city of Tampico is all the way out here. It's a very nice sort of city. I don't know what to do about the coastline, to be honest, and some of the land is sort of jutting out right now. It very much depends on what version of Real Solar System or Sol System I pick, because the height map and such is always a little bit different. So if it's Sol System versus Real Solar System, it's different, and then depending on the texture quality, it's sometimes different. Anyway, I have my little 3D model of a city here at Tampico. Not much really, but at least it gives sort of a cityscape in the background. And I want to put bridges across here too so that we can fly under them. There's one that's supposed to be right there. I'll probably be making it more fancy than it really is. It's probably just a causeway. And maybe I'll have like a racing pylon sort of deal. My purpose in improving the scenery is first of all so that I can make renders in Blender that will be more impressive looking than anything here really. And then we can also sort of have fun. I'll share it and people can have fun with it. And it'll be more of a city, though of course it's got to take up space and it's not trivial to run it, but it's actually lighter weight than a lot of other sceneries. At the moment, let me check how big it is. Right now it's about 280 megabytes. And the scope of it is pretty broad. I deliberately oversized the buildings so that they are more visible, though maybe I should do that less for the ones outside the Space Center now. Now that we have more buildings inside the Space Center, I think you can see the border line that I drew, well, that I actually have a fence for. You can sort of see a line there, line there, line there. Eventually you'll wrap around the runway there. But that's the edge of the Space Center as I've sort of defined it. And it keeps extending out. I mean, there's a higher detailed area here, but if we keep going out in this direction, it is still the photo scenery for a while. It's just blurrier and lower quality. You can sort of see there's a higher quality block right here. Extending out to the coast actually. So that's a higher quality, and then there's a mid quality for most of it, and then a very low quality out there. One flaw is that I have a runway 36, but I didn't put 18 at the other end. I also don't have the runway lights and stuff like that. The VAB is just a cube right now. I haven't given it detailing or anything like that. But I have to be careful about the details, and maybe I'll have to remake some of the parts that were from like ArtStation or from NASA so that they have lower polygons to keep everything in check. There's a seam here I'll have to figure out what to do about. Obvious mismatch of things. And, you know, we'd like some more definition to this. It's all very flat looking. Every little bit costs in terms of resources. So anyway, that was a little tour of the Tampico Space Center. It's a nice big runway for us. A little deceptive like that because it's bigger than you might imagine. Oh, I hop. Tough to see my shadow on it though. Okay, I need air brakes on this thing. There might be a little bit too much of a normal map on this runway. It looks, well, it looks bumpy, but it feels bumpy. Gosh, I've got to run out of runway even though it is so long. Okay, and yeah, we're gonna have to fix that too. Oh no, oh no, well, alright. I managed to break the unbreakable T-38. Alright, so that's it for now. I'll just leave it there. So anyway, those are the renovations to the Space Center. I'm gonna continue making more details soon. I'll be working on it this week. So if it seems like I'm not putting out as many videos, it's probably because I'm spending my time working on this. So yep, it's going to be interesting and hopefully very detailed. And I'll try and figure out what to do to make the terrain look a little bit more dynamic instead of flat too. But like, I'm not gonna be putting tens of thousands of trees like we have in Flight Sim or anything like that, or millions in that case. You have to figure out some strategy. I don't want to have just little vague bumps, and I don't want fully detailed trees. I do have some low poly tree packs, and some low poly packs, these are off of the Unity Asset Store. So I have Unity Asset Store assets that are low poly that I could use with this, but they have to visually fit in, right? So anyway, I'll think about that. There's a lot of things that I can use. But this is how it looks like right now, and it will continue developing. Pekka has said that he wants to find space for his things around here, so that'll be interesting. And so with that, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do press like. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I'll see you next time.